Evening, ladies and gentlemen, into mmjhl game day, getting a bit of a later start as we've been sorting some things out here. The first little while, probably throughout the first whistle, will be probably without any commentating. Enjoy this matchup tonight. The Vicks and Raiders here live on your home for mmjhl hockey on G-Show Productions on this edition of mmjhl game day, everybody, as they get set to drop the puck now. Enjoy. So Aiden Anderson tries getting this one down low, but intercepted by a Raiders Junior Hockey Club player. That stretched across onto the stick, number 10 of Danoon, but off of his stick and turned over back into the Vicks possession here as we finally got some commentating on mmjhl game day. Of course, I'm your play-by-play commentator for tonight's matchup, Graham, the G-Show Forsyth. Had some trouble tracking down camera number 2 as we're running a 2-camera system here tonight. Special thanks to our crew for making it out and putting in the work for it tonight. Thank you to you, the viewer, for tuning in as well to this one. The Raiders Junior Hockey Club enter in on a 6-game losing streak. As for the Junior Victorias, coming off of a win last Sunday heading into this game against the River East Royal Knights, where they were up 4-0 after the first 2 periods. So for the Vicks, it's about looking to continue to stay in that win column tonight with what they're hoping is a strong 60 minutes tonight. And as for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, a team that is desperate to get back in the win column, a team that is now no longer with two of their former top players on this team, and Brody Melstead as well as Nate Goodbranson, going over to the Stonewall Jets. We tried to find out the move specifically yesterday about how that one went down. I think it might be so recent that, the move just hasn't been put onto the mmjhl website as of yet, though. But a season that's kind of turned into a bit of a nightmare here in the last 6 games for this Raiders team. One of their most recent wins, though, this season, it came at home against this Junior Victoria squad, or it might have actually been here in St. Vital. But regardless, Raiders looking for some inspiration from past games in this one, especially against this opponent in the Vicks. As this played up, onto the stick, number 23, and Kobe Edwards, who drops this back to Dylan Jaquette. Jaquette working down the left side, trying to catch up to this loose puck, but can't quite. As this off the backhand now of a Raider Junior Hockey Club player, but not able to get out of the zone. This goes off of the stick of a Victoria, chipped out by number 23 and Matthew Wilson for this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team. And with that, we get a stop and play here coming up with 15:48 here on MMJHL Game Day, live on G-Show Productions. This first period brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check out their only store location here in Winnipeg at 995 Miltsteagle Drive. Vicks trying to force something to the net, but can't. In tight. As this turned over, D-to-D they go. Goretzky plays it up to Captain Rubini, as Rubini sends it in for this Vicks squad. In on it is Jason Zook, who reverses this behind the back for the Raiders, and now ends up into the Raiders' possession, into the Victoria zone towards the slot. That now being stick-handled, but shot wide of the net by number 21 and Zach Gallinger, as this goes all the way down back into the Raiders Hockey Club, their zone. As a good chance for them there, but all for naught for now, as this chipped in off of the stick, number 25 and Nathan Lanowski out in front. Almost trouble for the Victorias, but able to survive. As with that, a bit of uncertainty around their own net with the puck, and it turns into a turnover, which the Raiders Junior Hockey Club was looking to take advantage of, but couldn't quite here. Early, still scoreless at 0 apiece, as this draw, won by the Victorias, played up the wall by Philippe. Tries getting that over to Nolan Anderson, but won't. Now it's Evan Philippe breaking up with some speed through, going through stick checks and still holding on to this puck. Goes towards the net, but that turned aside by the paddle of goaltender, I believe, Benera tonight for this Raiders team. That pass down low. Aiden Anderson now going to the slot, scores! Well, just how the Victorias look to draw it up there, they've come through with great success as Aiden Anderson plays it down low to a man that's wide open behind the goal line, decides to find that open space in front of the net in the low slot, where he ends up having that pass connected to him and connects with the mesh in the back of the net, as Aiden Anderson has been dealing with some injury this season, but is back into the lineup, of course, here as of late for this Vicks team, and gets them onto the board for the first time tonight with a tic-tac-toe one-timer finish in tight on that goal. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Look out there as a Victoria spills out onto the ice, losing an edge. Larenko now trying to send this towards the net, but couldn't. Cromie tried picking it up, but it was number 19, I believe, Michael Spence, who got it up to Connor Mitchell. Spence touches up the puck. Offside, though, as this will bring a stoppage in play. 13:49 remaining here in this first period of action. Thank you for tuning in on MMJHL Game Day, by the way, if you are. It means a lot that you're here. I know that it's a bit more convenient, too, if you didn't want to make a trip out in the freezing cold tonight, where there you go, you're able to watch this game from the comfort of your own home or the comfort from wherever you are. And has been pretty darn cold lately, gotta say. Ended up walking to work this morning, and I do miss the warmth of, summer and even fall, to be honest with you. But winter officially here. It'll be Christmas before we know it. And for the Vicks, that shot unable to really do much damage on Evan Benera, as ends up right into his breadbasket, giving another stoppage in play here coming up. And another face-off inside of the Junior Victoria's opposite end here in the defensive zone of the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, as two players whacking away at it. It'll be won by Riley Kushner, but possessed by the Vicks down low in front of the net now, but covered up, swallowed up by Benera to not allow anything else to transpire there. But it's the straw won by the Vicks. Jorgen Nell jumping up into the play. Now out in front. That a bit of trouble for Benera at first, but ends up covering things up. So this Vicks team will get another offensive zone face-off draw coming up here again in the Raiders zone. And, if the Raiders can bring their best here tonight, could we potentially be seeing a game that's close? Both of them have been so far, all three of them so far this season, as there's only been one game where these teams have been separated by more than a goal. First matchup of the year was won here, actually, by the Vicks on mmjhl game day 5-4. They played in a doubleheader on that October 3rd, 4th weekend, as they ended up coming back against the Raiders the next night to win 6-4, and like mentioned earlier on in this broadcast, for the Raiders, one of their most recent wins ended up coming on November 3rd at home in overtime, 4-3 over the Junior Victorias. And we'll get another stop and play here coming up with 11:39 remaining in this first period of action. 1-0, the Vicks lead off of the stick of number 13, Aiden Anderson. Gets the Vicks onto the board. 1-0 lead here, with all the zone time right now inside of the Raiders Junior Hockey Club zone, as that shot deflected and out of play from the stick of Nolan Anderson, but went off of a Raiders Junior Hockey Club player's stick, so that means we will be getting another face-off coming up inside of the Raiders' end. We'll take it. This time it'll be Baron Baker jumping up from his D spot, ends up losing it, but gets right back onto the puck and keeps this down low, controlling Baker strong with it. Ends up passing to Aiden Anderson, who spins away from the Raiders' pressure, spins back into it though, but able to get it back down low to Baron Baker. As Baker, nice little stick handling, gets a quick pass over to Nolan Anderson, who wheels down low across to the opposite side from where he started now. Passes it down low as that into the skates, but recovered by this Victoria's team onto Aiden Anderson's stick. Passes to Nolan. Nolan up to Evan Philippe quickly. Philippe from the point, his shot, and Benera not quite sure where it was at first, but able to come away with a save with 10:42 left on this clock. The Raiders getting out some of their best players, of course. This team recently, I believe, making a trade with the Stonewall Jets. It sent Goodbranson and Melstead to the Jets in that trade, as a Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Power play coming up here is drawing it, number 10 in Danoon. Andrew Danoon, that is. And for number 10, his efforts there good enough to draw the penalty and put this Raiders team onto the power play for the first time this evening. Power plays in this first period. Special teams in general brought to you by Kent Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store is busy early on this this PK for the Vicks. Number 29 and Ethan Penner as he makes a stoppage in play. We get a face-off once again coming up to his glove hand side, won by this Raiders team as it's played up to Cromie. Passes it down low to Larenko, searching for options, doesn't like what he sees. Oh, unlucky bounce there for this Raiders team, and Imbrogno chasing it down the other way for the Vicks, but Danoon able to get on it first and drop back to a teammate. This is the Raiders who look to set things up here. The 8th ranked power play in the league coming into this one. Zook now tries going off of the wall, but ended up hitting a linesman or a ref skate. And almost ended badly for this Raiders squad, but they still control on this power play. Pass across to Cromie, a bit out of his reach. He gets it back, drops it behind his back onto the stick of Larenko. Dangles to the outside to protect and wheels around up high into the zone as that shot just wide of the net. It's onto the stick of Danoon again, the one who drew this penalty. Danoon surveying options, goes down low to Larenko, but gets past Larenko's stick, and on him is Halati to try to cut him off to get to that puck first. Now it's Kobe Edwards who bangs this one out along the boards with 47 seconds remaining on this Raiders Junior Hockey Club a kill, as they've done good establishing the zone, made some nice passes, but can't quite connect on that final one as we've seen so far. Missed passes have kind of created chaos for them, but wheeling in now, looking for a wraparound, I think, at first, but didn't unload. Number 25 for this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team. Is this controlled now up high, trying to hold it in, and he does. Just number 23 and Matthew Wilson. Pass gets across to Lanowski. Is Lanowski being checked there by Aiden Anderson, up to the point held in by this Raiders team. A reverse hit from Lanowski. As with 5 seconds remaining, the Raiders trying to work something to the net. Can they get it there? They'll keep it along half wall as we're back to even strength. Up to the point. That shot deflected wide of the net as the Victorias onto the stick of Netchwaduk, able to get this up into the direction. Number 15 for this Victorias team in Hayden Willis. As Willis battling down low finally has that taken away. Passed across into the neutral zone, skated up Larenko, leading team score as it gloved down by number 29 and Ethan Penner here as MMJHL continues with the Vicks leading 1-0 still, under halfway left in this period, 8:12 left on the clock on your home of MMJHL hockey here in Manitoba on G-Show Productions, gshow.ca. As picked up down low now by Gallinger, as Gallinger gets bodied along the boards. Oh, sorry, that's number 8, actually, in Cole Kennedy. I was trying to dig it out, number 19, and Pillars, but couldn't. That gets skated up by this Victoria's team onto the stick of Hayden Willis, trying to dangle through, but couldn't there. On number 4, I believe, in Henry for this Raiders team. This gets sent across onto the stick of number 3 in Goretzky, who backhands it across to Halati. Halati now dangles up through the middle, splitting through some Raiders players. Unloads on the shot, but has that deflected out of play off of the stick. Riley Yorchenko on the block, getting a disruption in there. So thank you for tuning in, if you are, to this edition of MMJHL Game Day, and I think MMJHL fans and Raiders fans in general agree with Caleb Wakewich's comments. Raiders got to get it together, and this game's been exhilarating. I guess he's referring to the game maybe in general, or maybe watching this Raiders team. Nonetheless, thank you for everyone, by the way, I'll say it again, for tuning in. And if you do want to say something, throw it in the live chat. We might get to it throughout this game. Or maybe start a discussion, some debate with the viewers through the comments section. Always fun to hear what you guys have to say. Our great supporters here on gshow.ca, G-Show Productions. As this into the corner, a bit of rough stuff in the other end. Allowed for this Vicks team to break out. Now skated out. Almost passed in, but not quite. It's a good Vicks stick to bat down that dumping attempt from Samuel Senchuk. Now Nolan Anderson tries getting this towards the net, kind of into the feet there of Baron Baker, as the Raiders able to send this out. D this goes. The Vicks stretched up to Nolan Anderson as Anderson gets it back in his feet, pass across to Jaquette, who whips it fastly across to number 9 and Tyler Rubini, as Rubini gets some stick checks on a Raiders player and forces this turnover. But now it's the Raiders trying to move up with some speed, but Cromie was cut off there in the neutral zone. Passed over to Zook, as Zook now finding a man in that neutral zone in number 10 Danoon, but off his stick, wasn't able to cradle it. Now it's Netchwaduke just wide of the net. That shot goes off of the backboards into the glove of Benera. And with that, another stoppage, another face-off coming inside of this Raiders Junior Hockey Club zone here coming up. We'll get a face-off draw coming up here to the blocker inside of Benera. Into the low slot, unloaded on there by number 12 in Luke Elliott, but a nice save by number 30. Long shot from ways out at the blue line from Goretzky, turned aside by number 30 in Benera once again. Of course, looking to be a huge part of this game here tonight. If the Raiders want to get back in the win column, they're going to need their goaltender, their goaltending in general to do their part. Step up in this one. Side of the net. That goes off of Spence now. Gets it. Trying to go to the net, but unable to get through the congestion. Now up top. That shot deflected on the way through. Rebound. Oh, turned aside by Benera on the stick of Imbrogno as he had it. Waiting out in front, just couldn't elevate it well enough, as finally the Raiders able to get it out as a reverse hit as well, laid on there on number 8 and Imbrogno. Michael Spence with some beautiful hand-eye there to almost bat that down. Now Imbrogno gets a stick into the lane to disrupt this breakout pass into Imbrogno's feet. Now down low to Halati. So it goes over to Goretzky. Now to Imbrogno. Tries feeding the man in the neutral zone, but couldn't, as that goes off the boards. It's that pass from Imbrogno intended for number 19 and Michael Spence. So with that, face-off coming to the blocker hand side of Penner in the Vic zone. Won by this Raiders team. That shot through in a glove hand save there made by Ethan Penner. To get another stop in play here. So we give you an angle of our second camera. Hoping that throughout this year we get more second camera angles. We've actually been upgrading our camera system in general. It's still in the works here as the season goes along. So you just stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, mmjhl fans alike. It is going to be spectacular when we finally get our official camera setup, our new official camera setup finalized. Hoping in the next coming week or two that not only will it look clear, but will it look crystal clear and more professional even than it is right now. So super excited to get that into the works here coming up soon, as the Vicks looking to continue to work this puck around inside of the Raiders zone as a little give and go. Halati going back to a teammate, not quite sure who it was. Halati gets this back, now shooting his shot wide of the net though, but picked up by other point man number 21 in Jorganellas. Oh, somehow sneaking this in. The Victorias late in this period go up 2-0 on the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Looked like a harmless shot sent on net. But hey, they all count the same, and the old cliche goes, they don't ask how, they ask how many, and it's 2 so far here tonight for this Victoria's team. Hayden Willis getting in on the action. I'm pretty sure he'd or Nell just throw this one to the net. Either or. Finds its way past Panera. That's one that the goaltender, of course, would love to have back. But for the Victorias, one that they'll take more times than not. I think any team would. Up 2-0 now over the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. In this game brought to you by Mid-Canton Fasteners and Tools for this first period specifically. Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, as I should say. Mid-Canton will be the third period sponsors. This played up into the Vicks zone now. But the Raiders unable to do anything with it. Chip down low onto the stick of Senchuk. As Senchuk tries to throw that in front but can't. Now gets double teamed by 2 Victorias. Net off, so we got a stoppage in play here with 2:47 remaining. So it'll be a fresh set of legs on for this Raiders squad against a Victoria's team who Netraduk off of the reverse grip on the draw lost at a hell of a snag there from number 29 and Ethan Penner to settle things down once again for his squad. As this time works out for Netraduk, wins the draw on that reverse grip and sent all the way out. Sent into the direction of Rubini and tracks it down. Rubini to the front of the net. That turned aside. Oh, there it sneaks in once again. And this Vicks team, the puck luck falling in their favor tonight as they make it 3-0. As Rubini throws it into the low slot for Luke Elliott, and Elliott gets a piece on it to get it past Panera. And you gotta be really frustrated if you're number 30. Knowing what this game could mean for your team's confidence if you're able to take home a win. For them, they'd like to be close as well, but that has just not fallen in their favor so far as the back-to-back goals for this Vicks team both sneak by number 30. Not the prettiest and 2 we'd like to have back for sure. But with that, it's a 3-0 lead for this Victoria's team in a game where, even in saying this, it's not like this Raiders team, and here we go again, maybe out in front, they're able to bang away at this one, put it in the back of the net, but Banera up to the task that time. But yeah, it's been mostly the Vicks who have had the offensive zone face-off time so far this period. When the Raiders have had their chances, they've been able to put some good on net, but there's been others where they've let some kind of slip away with their opportunities that they've been trying to create in the offensive zone. And for most of this period, they've seen the puck majority in their end. As this Vicks team playing with a good speed and good tenacity here tonight. As it's played down low off of the stick of Connor Mitchell, who Mitchell gets it back now quickly to Michael Spence. Spence tries getting back to 14 as 14 picks it up with his backhand. And Mitchell, has that pass cut off, trying to get it to the point. As this all the way down, cleared in by the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. And almost a turnover forced by number 21 in Zach Gallinger, but not to be. As into the last minute of play now, sent all the way out of the zone into the Raiders' end. 3-0 the lead for the Junior Victorias. It's now draw will come just outside of the Victoria zone. and will be won by the Vicks after some battling in the face-off circle as Halati tries to play this up to Dylan Jaquette, but deflected out of play into the rooftop here at the Centennial. Don't miss our upcoming first intermission analysis, which we may be lacking graphics for tonight's episode, but must emphasize that the analysis part will still be there. We're going to take a look back at this first period in brief before the second starts, as well as taking you through all the rest of the action that is going to be going down this weekend in the mmjhl. The first intermission also going to be brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, as Jorgen Nell, strong along the boards, gets that to the opposite side into the corner along the half wall. This is both teams battling away, added to get it loose with 19 seconds remaining as this goes out of play, hitting the netting. With now just under 17 seconds left on the clock. Another offensive zone face-off draw coming up for the Victorias. Seen plenty of these tonight already, as it'll be Baron Baker who steps in to take it, as Baker ends up winning it to the half wall to Anderson. Gets it to Nell, that off of a shin pad and out of play. It deflects. So we'll do this one last time. Potentially, maybe we got another face-off coming up here. It's the Raiders getting some fresh legs onto the ice here these last few seconds, and that might have been beneficial for them as they're able to win this draw, reversing it and playing some keep away from the Vicks, flipping it, into the roof. So yes, we will be getting another face-off here coming up. It's the announcer's jinx, I guess, on display there in this one. 2 seconds remaining on the clock. Vicks looking to shoot this at the net quick. Aiden Anderson in on the draw as he tries to go through the legs of a Raider Junior Hockey Club player on the draw, but nice job by that Raider in Chromie to defend it well, dropping down to his knees to close it up off that face-off draw. And yeah, with that, shots for the Vicks, they got 16. Didn't quite catch what the Raiders had there from the PA announcer, but we'll have all that information for you coming up during the first intermission analysis here. In a first period where, the goals, all players getting onto the board will be Aiden Anderson, Luke Elliott, and it ends up being actually Ezekiel Kirkness who wears number 15 for this Victoria's team tonight, who got the second goal of this matchup. So, first career goal for him tonight. That's why they were sending the puck over to the personal trainer or the equipment manager on this Vicks team. If you missed catching that after that goal was scored by number 15 in Ezekiel Kirkness. Congratulations to you, young man, on getting on the board for the first time in your mmjhl career. Nothing really I think the Vicks want to change in their game moving into the next period. The one thing they don't want to see change is consistency. A very consistent period for them, which they'll be looking to keep up in the next 20 minutes. Of course, they had a strong 40 minutes against the River East Royal Knights. It's looking like they're on track to that tonight in this game against the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, who, for the Raiders, man, they've had some chances here and there, but overall, spending way too much time to really have any effect on this game in their own end. Just outpaced right now, a bit outskilled by this Victoria's team. And, Evan Benera has 2 soft ones get by him, which, wonder how he puts that through the rearview mirror and tries to, finish strong for the remainder of this one. The Raiders, once they get into the zone, I'm all about seeing nice passing plays, and playing the game myself, I remember always looking to pass first, but coaches will tell you just shoot, get pucks on net, and that might be what this Raiders team has to do if they continue to get as little zone time as they had. Not as much opportunity in the quantity to get your quality. We'll see if they get more quality here coming up. They do trail, though, 3-0, as we'll send it to our first intermission promo screen here. We're going to have some highlights to roll for you, not in tonight's broadcast, but in tomorrow's broadcast and moving forward during the intermissions. But for now, you're just going to see a stagnant promo screen. You'll also see Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia's commercial coming up here as well before we get back to just breaking down the last little bit of, this first intermission and the last little bit of these teams taking a break during the intermission. Then we'll have a call for period 2 here coming up next on G-Show Productions on gshow.ca on mmjhl game day. Vicks up 3-0, and this one brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Terrico Goaltenders, and Can Central, or Make Canada Fasteners and Tools.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
And welcome back into the St. Vital Centennial Arena. As it's the home side, St. Vital Junior Victorias leading the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. After the first 20 minutes of play here, 16-5 were the shots in favor of the Vicks. The goaltenders tonight that are in net, brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Evan Benera for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, stopping 13 of 16 shots he faced, and Ethan Penner perfect on all 5 that he's faced so far for the Junior Victorias. The goal scorers in that period, Aiden Anderson scoring his 6th of the season to open the scoring. Rookie Ezekiel Kirkness wearing number 15 tonight, scoring his first career MMJHL goal, and first goal in this Victoria's jersey. To make it 2-0. Not even a minute later, 58 seconds later, Luke Elliott would bang home his 4th of the season from a pass from Tyler Rupany, the captain of this Vicks team. As for the rest of the action going on in the MMJHL, there's another game being played tonight on this doubleheader Thursday, the second time this season that the league has had 2 Thursday night matchups. Of course, in the same Thursday, but it's Stonewall right now that is up with 12:29 remaining in the first period per the MMJHL's website. A goal from Peyton Bateman to put the Jets up 1-0 over the St. Boniface Riels. As both teams head onto the ice right now, just want to take you through the upcoming matchups for this weekend in the league. There's going to be 3 tomorrow. For Gary, the Twins taking on the St. James Junior Canucks. River East Royal Knights taking on the Charleswood Hawks. A game that can be seen on gshow Productions. That will be an MMJHL game day broadcast. And the Transcon Railer Express on an 8-game winning streak heading into Pembina Valley, into Morris to take on the Pembina Valley Twisters. All 10 teams will be in action on Sunday in the league. The Vicks will be back in action on Sunday afternoon to face off against the Transcon Railer Express on what will be an MMJHL game day broadcast. As for this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team, they'll be back at home taking on the Charleswood Hawks on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. Check out mmjhl.ca for all the details of the upcoming schedule, the scores, the stats, and more from around the MMJHL. Welcome back, everybody. We're about set here for this upcoming period that is not only presented to you by Goaltenders, but also Terrico, as both teams at center ice, opposite sides this time around compared to they started and were off here. As Aiden Anderson breaking towards the net, tries feeding it to the middle there for Baron Baker, but couldn't find him. Skating this up, this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team, and rebound scores! Well, could it be the spark that this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team needs to get back into this one? They cut the lead down to 2 here, now 3-1. And yeah, just direct getting pucks on net early on here, right? Not wasting much time doing that. That's something that I spoke about before we went to a break during our first intermission. And yeah, something that this Raiders team obviously looking for a more direct approach to get to the net. And anytime you're able to, get in on a rebound with a a goalie that's out of position. Like Penner was there, kind of on his backside. You got to take advantage, and the Raiders did just that. On that goal, brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Find out why, check out their website at terrico.ca. Taken away by the Vicks, but a turnover here. Sloppy play by the Victorias. That high shot turned aside. Rebound there in front. And the Vicks able to survive for the time being as that goes off of the skate of Tyler Rubini into the backboards. Rubini on it there first. Gets position on Zook. Loses it, but picked up by Luke Elliott. That puck turns it over, and now it's onto the stick. Number 23 and Matthew Wilson, who reverses this to Zook. Zook going back to Wilson as this gets rimmed around D'Souza, but D'Souza has that puck get away from him. As number 25, Nathan Lenoski, for this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team, gets his team onto the scoreboard here to cut into what was a 3-0 Vicks lead heading into this second period of action. Not even 2 minutes into this frame right now as the Raiders looking to get this towards the net. Oh, just wide, maybe it goes. Or maybe Penner caught a save of it. Was tough to tell from our perspective right here. Larenko gets body along the boards. Does this into the slot. Raiders still with it. As turned over now. Now it's played up. Number 8. Oh, Rono has this stripped away by number 10 in Danoon, who gets this in deep, rims it all the way around. And number 17 in Larenko, who goes to battle along the boards again. Now taking another shot from another Victoria. So the Vicks try rimming it out, but can't quite get enough mustard on that pass out. Is now into the neutral zone. Oh, Michael Spence with a beautiful dangle, keeping it to the outside. That shot turned aside by Banera. Trying to get it out quickly was this Raiders team, but couldn't along the boards and in the feet of Victoria now. And Dylan Jacquette as Michael Spence comes in, lays a body along the boards. So the Raiders able to get this into the neutral zone. Now fed up to Kirkness. Lost it for a moment. Kirkness continues up into the neutral zone, waiting for a pass, but it never got there. D to D, the Raiders control. Is this back into the neutral zone and into the Vic zone again. Goes across to Evan Philippe, who just passed the red line, sends this in deep. Line for Kirkness. Oh, huge hit from number 15 there on number 2 from this Raiders team, and Tegan Hukert. Number 15, a rookie for the Vicks and Kirkness, really making his presence felt here in more ways than one tonight. Here he is again with the puck in the neutral zone. Kirkness now up with some speed for a moment, but that shot wide of the net, just high of it. Kirkness was looking to go off for a change. He finally does. What a shift there from number 15. As up with speed, Baron Baker trying to split through the Raiders. He gets to the front of the net. Oh, just goes over as Panero is able to catch a piece of it. Side of the net this goes. Now into the slot for Baker. He unloads, and oh, out of play this time as it hits the netting. Giving us a stoppage in play here with 15:50 on the clock. As draw will be to the blocker hand side of Banera. Draw won by this Raiders team. D to D, it goes up. Zook goes to Polaris. Polaris skating this puck up and got it to a teammate who sends it just wide of the net. I believe that was Riley Kushner. Or no, it's number 8 and Cole Kennedy out there. Side of the net, oh, front of the net, sprawling out to make the save, number 29, and Ethan Penner. Been a lot busier in this period so far, as it's the Raiders who end up getting an offensive zone face-off draw for themselves coming up here. Cole Kennedy to take it with Polaris out there with him, along with number 27 and Cromie, but Vic's able to win this draw and played up into the skates of Netraduk, continuing up with it now. Oh, almost batted out of the air there. Side of the net was Luke Elliott off of that aerial pass from Netraduk. was not meant to be. Now taken towards the slot. That shot turned aside. Penner gets to the high point there, and Zook who takes that shot. Couldn't do anything with it. Rubini now trying out Muscle Wilson, heading towards the net. Nice stick there and good support from number 7, and Zook on the back check back as the Raiders able to get this into the neutral zone. It's Ryan Cromie. Has players with him. Cromie will drop this now. That shot, Kennedy turned aside by Penner, aggressively out of his net. There, rebound, scores! Or should I say loose puck that ends up into the slot. Penner was way out of position, tried to make it back across to make that save, but couldn't. And just like that, it's a 3-2 lead only for this Vicks team. Been cut down now to 1 by this strong Raiders attack to force a turnover there. Hard on the forecheck, not giving up on it. Allows for them to stay in the fight. And I think for this Vicks team, kind of caught off guard this period right now, right? I mean, they haven't been as clean or as confident with the puck in their own end. And we've seen turnovers from them that has allowed for this Raiders team to continue attack inside of their zone. We've seen, of course, Ethan Penner getting fooled twice now, and I think for this Vicks team, it's about, taking a deep breath right now, keeping a positive mentality, but not letting this one run away from you here is the most important thing, right? Especially when you're up 3-0 against a team where you got to take advantage right now. With how tight the top of the standings are against a team that's been struggling the way the Raiders are. If you're the Vicks, this kind of a win that you'd love to have is that. Switch our camera angle back. Turned aside by number 29 and Ethan Penner. This puck along the boards, picked up by this victorious team, but being muscled off the puck there by Danoon. Danoon gets this. Number 27, Ryan Cromie. Cromie tries to muscle his way up the boards, but cut off well there by Goretzky. As this puck almost turned over at the point. Now it is. Onto the stick of the Raiders, getting it towards the net there, off of that shot from Ryan Cromie. With 13:23 remaining in the second period of action. 3-2 the lead in favor of this victorious team. As this draw will be won by the Vicks. Into the corner, Halati, D-to-D, it goes now played up to Aiden Anderson, who has Baron Baker with speed, driving to the middle, hits Baker now, backhand, backdoor, goes, scores! For a line that has been playing with so much speed tonight, as we've seen from the game of guys like Baron Baker, player like Nolan Anderson heading to the net, Aiden Anderson also out there as well. Just a line that burnt this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team there. They get a pass towards the middle of the Baron Baker, who may be looking to shoot this with a backhand at first, but recognizes Nolan Anderson is heading towards the net and decides to wait off to the last moment, passing it to him, and Benera with really no chance on that one. As that goal brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. As this possessed number 10 in Nolan Anderson gets this down low to Baron Baker, onto the stick of Nolan's brother and Aiden. Back to Nolan now. Try getting into Baker. Low slot, but couldn't. Now this will be stripped away. Number 9 now with the puck, and Kushner. As Kushner tried to make a move past Halati, was stood up there well by number 5. Huge hit. Maybe not the biggest hit, but a hit nonetheless along the boards inside of the Vicks zone. Now picked up by them as, passed up to Jorganell, who activates up into the neutral zone from his D spot. Takes it into the corner, rubbed out by Zook. Picked up there by Aiden Anderson, who sends it to the net. Rebound there, but in too tight. Number 12 and Luke Elliott to do anything with it there for this Victoria's team. This gets played up and sent all the way down to the Vicks zone for an icing. So they now lead this one 4-2, thanks to the magic work of the Anderson and Baker line. Up to the point, Jaquette backhands that towards the low slot. Back up, sent towards Jaquette, but couldn't do much with it, so sent it back to Luke Elliott. That pass misses a man in the slot, but gets back up to the point, held in by the Vicks still. Now a turnover along the boards and picked up by the Raiders. They're able to get this all the way out into the neutral zone as this puck skips past onto a Vicks defenseman's stick. Sent all the way back into the Victoria zone now. Left for Penner, a Raider Junior Hockey Club player coming in there to disrupt on the forecheck, but couldn't. As Evan Philippe now dumps a man on his way past Hukert. So there's a huge hit from Brady Jaquette there on number 23 on Wilson, as Wilson loses his helmet in the process. Sorry, number 25 in Lanowski. Player who got the goal scoring started in this game for this Raiders team. That shot off of the knob of Banera's stick. Sent out of play now. So we got a face-off draw coming up. As allows for the Vicks to set up on the face-off draw coming up. Is won by this Victoria's team. Sent towards the slot, but couldn't connect with anyone. Loose puck there, trying to be whacked away at by Alessandro Imbrogno. Now in the corner. Almost loses his balance, but continues strong along the boards. Able to win this puck battle is Imbrogno against Cromie. Separates himself now as Imbrogno. Strong backhand pass to Spence. That shot turned aside and cleared all the way out. As this not quite strong enough down for an icing. But nonetheless, here's a turnover. Cromie now on the backhand, trying to drive wide on Connor Mitchell, but has that poked away. Now onto the stick of Danoon. And Larenko for support in the corner picks it up. Larenko tried getting that across to a teammate, but couldn't. Now him and Connor Mitchell getting tied up with each other. Mitchell gets a punch into the cage there of the Raider Junior Hockey Club player he was tussling with. This time around, I think that reaction warranted from Connor Mitchell. I mean, two players are tangled up with each other, him and Larenko. And, Larenko's giving him a few shots in the face. Not like punches or anything, but in Connor Mitchell's kitchen. And with that, Connor Mitchell just gets frustrated in the end and says, hey, enough is enough. I'm just going to give you a little headshot here, a little jab to the head, which caught a reaction from the ref, which said, Mitchell, you're going to the box for the next 2 minutes here, giving this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team a chance to... this Vicks team is on the power play. So, Mitchell able to draw that penalty. Turned out to be, as it's passed across. That shot from Baron Baker ends up being blocked up. Nice job by the Raiders to start things up here. Mitchell does end up going to the box, though. for 2 minutes. 2 minutes for roughing. It's the Raiders who are on the PK. As this left Penner for number 17 in the Vicks. That's Carter Wilson. It's Aiden Anderson into the zone. Drops this back to Aiden Anderson, or Nolan Anderson, but had that sticked away. And it's played all the way into the Vic zone. Played around and turned over now. First initially off of the stick of goaltender in Ethan Penner. Trying to dangle through as a Raider, but couldn't as he gets that puck stripped away. So the Vic's able to just work it in for a moment, but that was into the skates of a Raider and allowed him to quickly get this one out. As Goretzky surveying options decides to drop it, and it goes across to number 9 in Tyler Rubini. Rubini loses this down low. Picked up by Kirkness, who gets this up top to Goretzky. Goretzky to Nechwaduk, who Nechwaduk gets it back to him. Now back to Nechwaduk again, across to Rubini, up top to Goretzky, who has that blocked by the other. Or sorry, not the other number 3, but by number 2 in Hukert. As with that 10 seconds remaining, 7:40 left on the clock, and now back to even strength as overall a very solid kill from this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team. Didn't really allow St. Vital to have anything of quality like they would have wanted to on that man advantage. 7:35 remaining. In to take the draw, newcomer in Cole Kennedy. Kennedy will push this through and plays it up to number 21 in Zach Gallinger, who banks this to himself and continues down low. Got possession of the puck. This gets worked back to the point for this Raiders team, but unable to be held in there by number 5 in Schiller as he sends this, or Schioler, as I should say, sends this in deep. As this played up now past the red line and sent all the way into the Victoria, or into the Raiders zone. The Vicks, Michael Spence, first one on the body there. So he gets it down low. It'll be kept in by the Vicks. Jaquette, his shot turned aside. Number 30 and Benera, they're up to the task. Almost passed in front, but cut off by a Raiders player who was covering Alessandro Imbrogno. This gets played across, and Imbrogno finishes off his check there on Schioler. Schioler stood his ground along the boards. Didn't really flinch, as this ends up into the ceiling and gets us a stoppage in play here with 6:36 here in the second period of action. Face-off draw, won by this victorious team. Halati will jump up, down low now from his point position. But it'll be stripped away by this Raiders team onto the stick of Henry, but has it stripped away quickly by number 23 and Kobe Edwards. Along the boards pressuring are the Victorias, but this finally sent out by this Raiders club. Zook giving chase now in the Victoria zone, but couldn't get there. The Vicks played out for the time being, now chipped in and off of the stick of Lanowski, who was in the box moments ago. A hold-in call, not called there in the corner. Could have been from the refs. Allows for this Raiders team to continue on with possession down low. Whacking away at it, the Victorias, but unable to move this puck by very much here right now. 5:46 remaining as a player is taken down to the ice. A penalty is what comes out of that, as well as it'll be the Raiders Junior Hockey Club who get rewarded. 5:39 left on the clock. It'll be Jorgen now who goes off for the next 2 minutes. At the most, that is, unless this Raiders team can score sometime before that. This Vicks penalty kill brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Be sure to check out their website at gordytumelsongoalies.ca for more info and more details. This will be won by the Raiders Junior Hockey Club and played across onto the backhand of Wilson, who chops this to Lanowski. Lanowski gets it back from Wilson now. Surveying his options. Or sorry. Yes, it is Lanowski. Might have thought it was Cromie. That now up top to Wilson again. Plays it back to Lanowski. Hit shot unloaded on rebound there. Penner sprawling on the ice. But somehow, some way, keeping this away and out. But still controlled by this Raiders team. Oh, nice recovery by Wilson. Behind the back pass to get that to Lanowski. Now goes cross ice to the opposite point to Sousa, but couldn't connect there with number 16. So they'll be sent all the way down. Played up, stretch pass up to Henry. Has someone going to the net in number 2 in Hukert. But Raiders unable to do anything with it, and it's turned over into the Vicks possession, into the skates. Oh, and tight Baron Baker ran out of room. Simple as that to do anything with that deke. As Benera turned it aside. 52 seconds remaining now on the power play. As this turned aside. Now a Raiders junior hockey player getting played into the boards. Now 2 players in front of the Vicks net getting tangled up with each other. That's Lanowski as well as Jaquette. Somehow Braid Jaquette ends up going to the box here. I'm not sure if we actually saw it on the stream, but yeah, I think both players were battling in front of, the Vicks net, and Jaquette gets caught taking down Lanowski in front. They also take Lanowski though, so this going to be a 4-on-4 here coming up. Rather a 4-on-4 coming up here, I believe. No, apologies. It'll actually be no penalty to either team, as they just go with coincidentals there for Jaquette and Lanowski, as this left for Zook. Zook goes back up the left side to Cromie, as this breakout ends up turning into a turnover in the Vicks zone. As this Raiders team looking to set up with 6 seconds left on the man advantage. Across he goes to Zook. To the half wall there. Cromie, his shot turned aside. Rebound there, banging away or batting away at it, but with no success. So it was midair. Was the Raiders team. Another big hit along the blue line for this Vic squad, but still unable to get it out. So the Raiders working them a bit here. Trying to tie that up along the wall. Number 10 in Danoon, but couldn't. Get sent back down low. Now onto the stick of number 3 in Gretzky, who was unable to get it out on his second attempt. This puck ends up out of play. And with that, 3:08 remains here in this contest. As delayed offside didn't allow for Polaires to make his move on net. Making his move up, though, for the Vicks is number 21, Jorgen. Now has it taken away. Couldn't complete the loose puck. Deke. Penner out of his own net. Plays this confidently across to a teammate high up in the zone and batted down. This puck is Dylan Jaquette gives chase on it. No icing on the play. And Jaquette gets a body on him, man, to force this turnover. Kirkness takes possession of it, gets it up to the point, tipped out in front. Loose puck there. Jaquette turned aside in front by Benera. It's a good chance there for number 16. Physical play along the wall here for the Vicks, but how's the puck get past their forecheckers and skated up by Polaires? Goes off the boards. Sent onto the stick. Number 23 in Wilson. So this sent all the way down for an icing into the Raiders zone. 2:05 remaining here coming up in the second period of action. This face-off draw won by this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team. Now, it surprised me if they only come out of this period with another 5 shots, because there's been a team that's been working around the puck better inside of the Vicks end, looking to get more shots on net as often as possible, and a team that, one thing I've always talked about with them that I've been impressed with is that counterattack, and we've seen that counterattack come through for them on their goals so far here tonight. But a most recent goal by the Vicks put them up 4-2 as 1:45 remains here in this period of action. This is played onto the stick. Bray Jaquette, who flips this all the way into the Raiders zone now, onto the near the top of the crease of Evan Benera. It's a bit of 50-50 announced here tonight. Apologies for a bit of yawning, as you can hear. It's not this game. This game's been entertaining. It's just the fact that we've been up early and been working all day leading up to now, and happy to finally be here on this Thursday night. So we're coming up on the final minute of play here in this second period, as this won by the Victoria, sent towards the front of the net but couldn't get there. This will be, off the crossbar! That goes off of the stick of Baron Baker. His one-timer unloaded on the slot as the Vicks still control. Sent towards the net there. Aiden Anderson, his pass on the ice. Tried to get a deflection. Nolan Anderson working some magic on Wilson. Going one way, spinning the other. Tries backhanding this down low, but didn't get it there. A whistle coming up here. Now this one, a trip coming up, as we can see the hands out. I believe that was from the player who took it in Wilson. But yeah, the ref didn't put his arm up right away, which surprised me that the penalty was called. But happened that the Vicks touched the puck, or the Raiders touched the puck up quickly after it was taken, so maybe the ref didn't have time to react right away to it, with it all happening so fast. We're going to get Terrico here on the screen, as this will be actually a 4-on-4 here coming up. Taking both players, Wilson and Larenko. Wilson for the Vicks, Larenko for this Raiders team. A huge save out in front there from number 30 in Benera, who stones number 9 in Rubini on that shot. Taken away, and almost receiving it beautifully behind the back was Cromie, but couldn't, as he had to regroup in his own end. Has this sticked away now by Netraduk, who feeds it cross ice to Rubini. Rubini slides it back to Netraduk. His shot, just turned aside. Getting a piece of it there was Benera. As back on it is Rubini. Gets it across to number 3 in Goretzky, who just decides to flip this down low. Out of the reach for Netraduk as he was tied up with 10 seconds remaining. Netraduk along with Rubini, trying to get this puck loose. It's on Rubini's stick, driving hard towards the net, but turned aside. Backdoor that goes off, the post, scores! A buzzer beater! The definition of it is with 0.0 seconds left, Netraduk somehow finds the back of the net. So it'll be this victorious squad skating off with a 3-goal lead, like they entered into the first intermission with. And what a passing display from Rubini and Netraduk. It starts with them upon entering the zone, and it started before that with just a beautiful stick from Netraduk to strip Ryan Cromie of the puck. Works it fast over towards Rubini. before, yeah, they start exposing this Raiders defensive zone coverage on it. Finding the open man time after time, and Rubini, he could have shot that puck at the end there, but just the patience, the vision, and the wherewithal from number 9 to know exactly where Netraduk's going to be, and for Netraduk to put it in the way he did from that angle was just wow. And given that it was 0.0 seconds left on the clock, exactly. Doesn't get much closer than that to, trying to score before the buzzer sounds for sure. But 5-2, the Vicks lead. The goals coming to Netraduk that period, as well as Nolan Anderson. We'll update you on the shots coming back here before the third period starts during the second intermission. I thought that there was some great life from that Raiders Junior Hockey Club squad that was shown to start off this period. Much better period overall with some actual, sequences of offensive zone time, which we didn't really see from them in that first. As for the Vicks, though, when they were able to regain the 2-goal lead, feeling like, they started to get back to their game. We felt a bit more calmness in their game instead of the way we saw them panicking, throwing the puck away to start off that period, which led to turnovers in their own end. And talk about taking the life out of a team potentially. That last goal of the period to put them up 3 again might have been the dagger officially in this one for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. But for them, it's about, can you show you can fight? Remember, they're still in a playoff spot, so even though they're sliding right now, you just got to remember that hopefully this too shall pass. But you got to work towards making it pass, as they'll be looking for a huge comeback here in this third period of action. But more importantly than that, a strong finish here on MMJHL game day, as the Raiders trail the home side, the St. Vital Junior Victorias, on MMJHL game day, live on this Thursday night, on really busy Thursday night for ourselves here at G-Show Productions at gshow.ca. That second period was brought to you by Terrico and goaltenders specifically for all special teams. Mid-Canton Fasteners and Tools gets the official third period sponsorship coming up here. But until we call the third period, everybody, coming up in the next few minutes here, with both teams starting off 4-on-4 in the last 20 miles of regulation in this game. We'll be back to call it here on G-Show Productions on gshow.ca, on your home of MMJHL hockey here in Manitoba on the network.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
Welcome back into the St. Vital Centennial Arena here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. As the home side, the St. Vital Junior Victorias up 5-2 after a 2-goal second period for themselves. We'll take you through how that second period went down right now. Start off with 2 goals from the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Nathan Lanowski with his second of the season, assisted by Jackson Zook. Lucas D'Souza would score his team-leading 12th of the year to get the Raiders within 1 at the time, cutting down the lead to 3-2 for the Vicks. But then, just over a minute later, Nolan Anderson would finish off a backdoor feed from Lucas Gillison. 6:50 into the period, and with literally a second left as it's marked down, was really a buzzer beater. Rylan Netraduk putting one in from a sharp angle past Banera, taking a pass from Tyler Rubini, who ended up fooling everybody on the Raiders Junior Hockey Club side. Shots in that period, a bit better for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, a lot better, I'd say. 13 for them in that second period compared to the 16 that the Vicks had. Vicks lead the overall shots in tonight's matchup, 32-18. In terms of the goaltenders tonight, Ethan Penner has been in the crease for this victorious team. Evan Banera in the crease for this Pomona Valley Twisters squad, as we now get both teams coming back onto the ice, as we will update our period here as well on the scoreboard. This is the third coming up, as you can see, and as mentioned, 5-3, or 5-2 in favor of this victorious squad. Just a reminder, both of these teams will have the night off tomorrow, as they usually always do on Thursday nights into Friday nights. They'll be back in action on Sunday afternoon, as the Vicks will be in Transcona to take on the Transcona Railer Express, and the Raiders will be back at home to face off against the Charleswood Hawks. In the other Thursday night matchup happening right now, the St. Boniface Riels with a 2-goal second period, up right now 2-1 over the Stonewall Jets, with 11:14 remaining in the second period over there in Stonewall. As for this matchup, though, here tonight, we're still awaiting the conclusion of it. We're on 4-on-4 as we're underway here for this period, brought to you by Make Cannon Fasteners and Tools, your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. Check out their store locations in Brandon and Winnipeg today, coming in with speed, and having a stick into his body. Victoria losing it on D'Souza, as D'Souza ends up getting a shot on net to allow for Ethan Penner to cover things up. Aiden Anderson to take the draw for this victorious team. Draw will be won, though, by Lanowski, as it's played up to the point. Stripped away, though, onto the stick of number 10 in Nolan Anderson, who's coming in on Banera, driving, and save made as the net goes off by Banera, and Nolan Anderson losing his footing heading towards the net as he was taken out. And we'll see, does this warrant a penalty shot coming up, or a penalty of any sort? As both teams skating around. It does not. It's just going to get a face-off here inside of the Raiders Junior Hockey Club League club zone. As this draw won by the Victorious, played across to Evan Philippe. His shot turned aside into the corner by Raiders goalie in Evan Benera. Victorious controlling along the outside. Aiden Anderson faking a draw pass before continuing along with it. Plays it to the slot. That shot, Nolan Anderson scores! Well, he was wide open in the slot and makes no mistake with that shot past Evan Benera. You can even see a bit of hesitation from Nolan Anderson before he shot to open up Benera just that little bit more, right, to give himself the best chance this night past him. And it starts with just an aggressive forecheck from the Junior Victorias, playing with good pace in the offensive zone, and doing a really good job of controlling on the outside there before opening up that slot area to get a pass on the stick of his brother and Nolan Anderson. As Aiden and Nolan connect here tonight. Nolan's second of the game. Aiden Anderson with the multi-point night for himself as well. A goal which opened up the scoring here tonight. Has added some assists since then, but this race for the puck won by Blake Goretzky as he skates strongly through the neutral zone, middle of the ice, trying to split through the D upon entering the Raiders zone, but could not. This sent all the way into the Victoria zone. No icing on the play, beating it out. Number 17 in Lorenko, who gives a bit of a shot to Laddie along the boards. Ends up down low. Danoon trying to get this away, and does this time with some help. Down low, scores! Good forecheck, good pressure from the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, keeping this puck down low. And we're able to see not the prettiest goal, but a wraparound goal at that, one where Penner, not the strongest on that side, losing track of where that puck is, and this Raiders team with numbers outnumbering the Vicks in their own end. In tight to their own net. They come out victorious. Danoon gets on the board, and there's another goal, one that fools Penner again. And this time, I believe it's Michael Wilson, number 23. Who puts this in? That goal brought to you by Midcanton Fasteners and Tools once again. As Matthew Wilson just throws this towards the net, and this one ends up fooling Penner for the fourth goal of the game for this Raiders club. We talked about it in that first intermission, right? Just look at throwing all pucks and any pucks on net that you possibly can. And right now that formula working out for this Raiders Junior Hockey Club squad, as they're within 2 now. This Vicks team looking to get some positive momentum built back up their way. As along the boards down low, still on it, strong on his feet, number 8 in Alessandro Ambrogno. Mitchell comes in to angle out a man, taking away his space. The Raider, nice dangle there. Goretzky feeds number 15 now, and Kirkness, who has that turned aside. Into the slot, Goretzky can unload. Now unloading the clap on was Imbrogno, but it goes wide of the net. Picked up by the Vicks again. Spence now his shot, through traffic, and not able to get to the net. That time as it goes out of play. Just 16:53 remaining. So I'm pretty sure Logan Clark, a former Raiders Junior Hockey Club player, is tuning into this one tonight. Always awesome to see, the alumni of this league still interested in it as well. Passion that's been built up throughout the years of playing with these clubs, right? It means a lot. And happy we're able to provide a place for, alumni, fans of this league, and anyone else. An opportunity to watch it for free. Just wide of the net it goes as the Raiders, a prime scoring chance. They get it back down low though, trying to get that into the slot as, taken away was Penner. As now fights break out as the Vicks did not like how they were having Penner poked away at, as right there, Nolan Anderson, that is, and Ashton Henry tussle behind the net and now getting taken away from each other. As Nolan Anderson continuing to talk, not with the man he took down, but with Yorchenko, defenseman for the Raiders, as Nolan's still having some words for this Raiders team on his way back to, not back to the bench, but on his way towards the penalty box. This puts the Raiders back onto the power play here coming up. So it'll be Connor Mitchell to take the draw for the Vicks. And we'll end up winning this one for the Victorias. But it will be picked up by this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team and possessed. Playing it up to the point, it's Matthew Wilson. Sent across, snapped on the stick of a point man. The front of the net. Henry could not put that one away as it was sitting right there in the crease for him. As this pass across, not strong enough, and picked off by Alessandro Imbrogno and sent all the way down. Benaire out of his own net to play this and gets it to D'Souza. D'Souza leaves this down low for Matthew Wilson. 1:26 left on this power play for the Raiders. In with speed now, breaking into the zone. That shot, just getting a piece of it with the glove was Penner, shutting down number 25 in Lanowski. The player who once upon a time now ended up opening up the scoring for this Raiders team here tonight. Another really good look from him in this one, is still on the power play of this Raiders team, but quickly out by the Vicks this time around as it ends up onto the paddle of Benaire, leaving it for number 23 and Matthew Wilson. Wilson, his pass can't connect with the teammate there, and number 16 D'Souza back onto the stick of Wilson, who plays it off the boards, but this one turned over. The Vicks able to send it all the way down deep, and they got fresh legs as a result onto the ice, changing as it brings Tyler Rubini on, as well as Evan Philippe, Baron Baker, and Bray Jaquette. As this Raiders team working it into the Vicks zone, as that shot now turned aside side of the net again, but the net ends up being off again. This Raiders team has had a lot of success in that area of the ice, specifically the side of the net here tonight against St. Vital. It's a combination of them going to those areas, and also just the Vicks not being quick enough, not being strong enough to clear those chances away as frequently as we saw them at the start of the game do. As this gets to the half wall, Larenko plays it up to the point, drew Rubini to him. Rubini now faked out to the point again. This creates some space for this Raiders team through the skates of Rubini to Danoon. That unloaded by number 10, but high of the net. As we are officially back to even strength. Some good looks from the Raiders on that power play, but they still trail by 2 in this one, down 6-4. Game where they've made things closer recently. As this one gets sent all the way down. Luke Elliott trying to get on it first, but could not quite get there fast enough to pick up the loose puck. It'll be skated up by the Raiders this time. Kicked out to Danoon. Danoon tries sliding this into the slot, but couldn't go to number 17 in Larenko. Now skated up number 9. Rubini gets a pass to Luke Elliott. Stripped away, though, by the good stick of a Raiders defenseman on the back check back. Sorry, that was actually a forward in Larenko. As that shot from another forward in either Danoon or Koshnier turned aside from a long ways out by number 29 in Ethan Penner. 13:41 left on the clock as this draw won by the Vicks into the corner. Now just chipped out hard along the boards there by number 15 in Kirkness. Sent back into the Vicks zone, however, though, off of a Raiders stick. Now back to Carter Wilson, gets this D-to-D to Goretzky. Goretzky goes up the left wall off the boards into the direction number 16 in Dylan Jaquette. Play D-to-D now. The Raiders look to work this one off. Picked off in the neutral zone, though, just before that blue line by Jaquette. Drawn offside, though. Is that delayed? Offside whistle down. 13:09. On the clock, remaining in this regulation period, the final period of regulation here tonight. Is trying to angle through. Oh, now losing his balance. Getting taken out by the stick of Halati, but unintentional there from number 5. So no call on the trip to Koshnier. Picked up now, pass across to Pilares, who circles back in his own end before sending this into the neutral zone. Onto the stick, Gallinger dangles through one Vic, but met by Mitchell there to take it away. As Mitchell now trying to skate up, gets a body in front of that puck and almost gets it in to the Raiders zone, but couldn't quite complete that with success. Halati now was going to leave a drop for Mitchell initially, but Mitchell left it. Halati decides to stretch this all the way up ice, which will be all the way down for an icing, missing every one of his teammates. This face-off coming back inside of the Victoria zone now. The Raiders in a strong push throughout this one, and gotta be thinking for them, you know, with a team that has lost as many games in a row as they have, is that shot a tough save made by Penner from that slot shot taken by Henry. Yeah, as I was saying, as tough as this slide has been for them, to be able to still be in a game with one of the top teams in the league here, going into the final half of regulation here soon, you got to give this Raiders team props for that, especially with how this team's been down in this game too, right? Down by 3-0 to start off. Came within 1 at one point in the third period, but the Vicks ended up stretching the lead. Kind of the same story here in this period to start off, as the Raiders outscoring this Vicks team to start again. But do they have what it takes to potentially complete this comeback to tie, or will the Vicks have what it takes to hold on and close this one off here with 11 minutes left and 6 seconds in this period? As the Vicks contend on keeping this puck in deep down in the zone. Looking to work it up to the point, though, and that one fails to find Philippe. He's now skating in now. Oh, muscling by the check along the wall there was Lanowski. Gets it to Senchuk in the slot, who's taken out. Taken away, you could argue interference maybe, but no call there from the referees. As this gets sent all the way. Or no, sorry. Thought it got sent into the Raiders zone, but they cut it off well there. Sending it into the Victoria zone now, where it's picked up by Tyler Rubini. Building up some speed down that right side like a bullet is Tyler Rubini. Oh, tried to wrap around, draws a tripping penalty in the process. Take a penalty awarded to this Raiders Junior Hockey Club team now. That's not able to handle that speed was the opposite number 9 on the Raiders and Riley Kushner. So with that, we're going to get Mick Fasteners and Tools back onto the screen for this upcoming special team sequence here. As this for the Victorias, shot blocked. And back down low as the Victorias to Rubini. His shot tipped just wide of the net. From the side of the net now. Kirkness tried to get it in but couldn't. Works it up to Nechwaduk. Nechwaduk, backhand pass, trying to go backdoor potentially to Rubini, but that went off the mark as Rubini settles it down at the point to Goretzky. Gets it back now across to Nechwaduk. It goes. Nechwaduk can't get that through. As gets it back up to the point onto the stick of Goretzky. Snaps it across to Rubini. Goes back to Nechwaduk. Picked up by Goretzky off of that loose puck. Goretzky gets it back off of a Raiders player's skates, but loses that and gets it to Rubini. Now to Nechwaduk. Back across to Goretzky, who gets back into his point position. Sends a pass to Rubini, whose shot turned aside by Benera, or might have been blocked on the way through there. Vicks still maintaining possession of it along the wall for the time being. That gets past the skate of Goretzky, and now it's a Raider chasing it down and alone on Penner. Oh, what a save there from number 29 on Ryan Cromie. As boom goes the dynamite in the boards there for a Raider as he gets taken out by Goretzky. The Victoria's down the other way now. Down low, gets this high slot. That shot turned aside by Benera. Losing our mind here right now on this broadcast as it's just been back and forth. Nolan Anderson nifty on his way through but can't get the shot through to register on net. Now loose slot. That puck trickles to Aiden Anderson at the point with 11 seconds left on this power play. Plays it down low into the skates of Kirkness. Backhand pass completed on with 3 seconds left now on the kill for the Raiders. Huge save made by Benera there on ice. It's that long rebound out, but whistled down. So we are back to even strength here. With 8:15 remaining. What a chance from Ryan Cromie on the breakaway, shorthanded. A great break for the Raiders as that puck bounces over the skate of Blake Goretzky and out of the zone. It's just one they can't take advantage of, and the man who was responsible for that, Ethan Penner, will have to be big time again. His defenseman and Brady Jaquette big time getting that stick in the lane to take away that cross-ice pass on a 2-on-1. Ends up into the crease afterwards, still covered up by Penner to get another stop in play. So we bring Mick Fasteners and Tools back onto the screen for this offensive zone face-off draw for the Raiders. One to the wall there onto the stick of number 20. This down low is back into the creasing, covered up by Penner. As that in close turned aside by Penner again and dead and taken down in front of the net, number 20 in Jack Jarrett. Let's draw one again by this Raiders team. D2D this goes down around to Zook, plays it down low. Now Darrett in front tries to get that to number 9 in Koshner, but couldn't connect on the pass. As this gets chipped off of the glass and into the Vicks zone again. First one on it, Kobe Edwards reverses this to Nell, but the Raiders, good job to cut off along the boards. Senchuk along with Koshner and Darrett in on the battle. Koshner gets this loose puck out. Couldn't get that through to the point. As it's now onto the stick of Dylan Jaquette, who gets this out. Passed across, number 15 in Kirkness, but lost possession of the puck and now skated up by this Raiders team as it's dropped back. Now below the goal line, sent out in front, off of the stick of Penner out in front, but not quite out of the zone just yet. D'Souza spun away from the check and lost possession of the puck altogether. However, is the Vicks able to get this one out? So now D it goes to the stick of Lanowski. Lanowski's pass up, though, couldn't go much further, as now it's the Vicks who take it. And Michael Spence down the left side, turned aside by Bonera, as Spence gets it out in front again. Mitchell can't quite whack away at it, though. In tight there, sitting, waiting for that Spence pass. It's the Raiders able to get this one out once again. That pass towards the middle can't go. Couldn't get through the stick of a Victoria. Henry down low, loses an edge, and couldn't continue along in the battle. Now it's Michael Spence who looks to dangle. Oh, Spence almost completing that move. Loses it in the skate. Sends it towards the net. Loose puck still there, but the Victorias could not pick it up. As that shot turned aside now off the one-timer by Bonera. Net is off of its bearings as well. With that 5:52 remaining in the 6-4 game. 6-4 lead for this Victoria squad. As we'll get a face-off coming to the blocker hand side of Bonera. Draw one strongly there by newcomer and Cole Kennedy for this Raiders team. Puck at the side of their net, though, and this will be just stopped up because play warranted to be blown down, with that being another cover-up by Bonera. As this now towards the front of that, turned aside, kept out by this Raiders team. Penalty coming up here on the play, coming up to, I believe, Brady Jaquette, who Gallinger able to draw it on him. By the way, just some clarification. I got Logan Clark mixed up with Braden Clark. Braden Clark is a former Victoria player. Logan Clark still plays in this league, playing now on the Stonewall Jets, was on the Raiders, but went over to the Jets on a trade that was made. As shout out once again, Logan, to him, or tuning into this stream, watching it. The Stonewall Jets, his new team, of course, in action tonight against the Riels, as we'll get to the update on that score coming up in the 11th episode of the mmjhl podcast coming up tonight. Is that another cover-up by number 29 and Ethan Penner. But we're skipping the post-game tonight. We're going to actually have that as a part of our mmjhl podcast episode 11 season 2 coverage tonight, where I'll have my final thoughts on this game. We'll give players of the game as well. Goaltender of the month in November, and Alex Pauls will be joining this show tonight as the guest in a pre-recorded interview. You won't want to miss it. So we'll also have maybe some highlights to show you in that episode coming up, some stats to show you from around the league as well, and plenty more on the mmjhl podcast tonight. This gets played up to the point. Wilson, his shot, rebound there, loose puck, but just enough to survive. The Vicks do just that to get this away from the front of their net. As desperation at an all-time high here for this Vicks team, as they are also on the penalty kill. Brought to you by Mid-Canton Fasteners and Tools. Brought in by Ashton Henry. Tries getting that in front of the net, but went off the back of the net instead. Will be played up to the point now to Matthew Wilson. Gets it back to Lanowski. Lanowski now looking to shoot that off the post. It goes! Oh, a bad break for the Raiders. as Henry was looking to unload on that rebound on that loose puck, but couldn't quite pull the trigger on it. As potentially one more rush-in chance here for the Raiders on the power play. That wobbling and turned aside by Penner as the Victoria is able to send it out strongly. Halati with a huge clear as we are now back to even strength. In this one, with a chance just not meant to be for this Raiders team. Going off of the crossbar, or the post as I should say. In one of their best chances on that power play, as that blast ends up hitting somebody. You can hear the reaction from the crowd. Didn't look like that one felt so good either. Forever got hit by it. Didn't quite catch who that was, but with that, 2:56 remaining, draw won by the Vicks just outside of their zone, but fanned on by Brady Jaquette on the pass across, so picked up and turned over into the Raiders' possession along the board, so they got tied up, and the Vicks able to work this opposite side, sent all the way out by this Vicks team, and down as they're able to survive what could have been a mishap in their own end late here in this period, as this icing going to be waved off allows for the Raiders to get a body on body. Cromie forces that loose puck to number 10 in Danoon as Danoon surveying options. He'll just leave this at the point, but Rubini with a good job of reading it there, cut it off and has two men with him. Decides to go to the slot there. Netchwaduk turned aside off of the shot by Bonera with 2:08 left on the clock. In this third period of action, it's a draw won by this Junior Victoria's team, continuing up with it. Luke Elliott down below gets this loose puck to Netchwaduk, who gets this in front but has it intercepted by number 20 of the Raiders, who sends this across. Now Koshinier plays it to the net. Driving there was number 20 for this Raiders squad, and the Vicks won't take exception to that. Well, they will take exception to that, as I should say, as protect your goalie at all costs. That's the name of the game for this Vicks team. As Penner dove out to cover it up and catching him in the head. As Penner seems to be okay, but catching him in the head ended up being number 20 and Jack Darrett, former Stonewall Jet. And afterwards, I mean, that response from the Vicks warranted. You see your goaltender, get hit in the head like that once the whistle blows. Like, of course you're going to respond like that. That's the human nature of the sport. Been taught from a very, very, very early age that you protect your goalie even if he gets, touched with a stick. And, time and time again, no matter what the outcome has been this season, I mean, we see it with every team in this league, but this Vicks team taking exception to teams touching their goaltender and making teams, pay for it afterwards, wrapping them up a bit. Letting them know that, hey, you wanna get into these dirty areas and do some cheeky things, well, expect some not so nice responses from us on the way back. This is top line out for the Vicks right now. Netchwaduk to take the draw. Ashton Henry to take the draw for this Raiders team. Lost the draw initially, but blocked it to keep it low in the zone. This passed across is the empty net for this Raiders team off of a timeout. Deflected there and turned aside by the glove of Ethan Penner. Still held in by the Raiders. Cromie now feeds it to a teammate, and Lanowski gets it back to Cromie, but that one missing. As Netchwaduk able to find Rubini on the way across, as Rubini on that cross-ice pass puts it into the net afterwards. And with that, a 7-4 lead now for a Vicks team that, end up just surviving in this one at the end of it. It was a strong third period push that started with stronger play in the second period from this Raiders team. Even then, getting some good puck movement with that extra attacker, with that extra man. But it's about inches, right? And maybe if that pass is a bit more in front of Ryan Cromie, he's able to get a one-timer on net to test Penner there to potentially get one past him to make it 6-5 only for the Vicks on the scoreboard. It's a nice takeaway by the stick there of Edwards. It's from the point, that long shot, way wide. But it's the Vicks making, a simple pass up as Nechwaduk recovers that off of the boards, off the miss pass, and stretches one crisply cross ice to the tape of Tyler Rubini, and just basically walks into the zone and lifts that puck into the net softly to give this Victoria's team, of course, the 3-0 lead, or a 3-goal lead again, 7-4. With that goal brought to you by Midcanton Fasteners and Tools. As in the corner, it's Jorgen Nell, who able to get this down low again, just keeping it there for this Vicks team. All these teams have to do now for this one to end at this point is to either skate it out or maybe head towards the net to put up chances until the very end here if you're the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Along the boards, this puck goes opposite way and bounces out. Dylan Jaquette just past the red line sends this in deep, and with 10 seconds remaining, a team that the Vicks had so much trouble with last season, well, they're now 3-1 against them this season. As for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, it'll be a 6th straight loss for them here on the season, a 7th straight loss, to fall to 7-12-3. The Victorias, building off of that 4-2 victory last Sunday at Terry Sawchuk Arena to win their second in a row, to improve to 13-6-3 on the season. The Vicks, for the time being, move on up into a tie for second place with the Charleswood Hawks, now with 29 points each. As for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, still remaining in a playoff spot, of course, but remaining at 17 points, only 6 up on the River East Royal Knights. Yeah. You know what? We said there was going to be no post-game show, but we'll do a short one simply for the fact that we got to get our players of the game out here. I'd rather do this here than to start off in the podcast, but players of the game, we're going to give it for the St. Vital Junior Victorias. You know what, I liked how hard he played tonight, and really our first time getting to watch him on the network this season. You know what, actually, we're going to wait another night. Even though he scored his first career goal in the mmjhl here tonight, in Kirkness, he's an honorable mention. We'll give him an honorable mention here. Who scored his first career goal in the mmjhl, Ezekiel Kirkness. But, I got to give it to one of the Anderson brothers, and it's going to go to Nolan Anderson. I thought that Nolan Anderson tonight was getting to the right places in the right moments for this Victoria's team. We saw it on both of his goals. Just a very smart hockey player who plays with a bit of an edge, as we saw here tonight as well. But that physicality paired with his goal scoring tonight, and also just, making the right play more times than not, making simple and effective plays, earns that right for, Nolan Anderson, number 10 for the St. Vital Junior Victorias, to get the player of the game. Rookie number 15, Ezekiel Kirkness, getting the honorable mention here tonight. As that brought to you by Midcanton Fasteners and Tools, Brandon and Winnipeg store locations. That's where you can check them out at, your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. As for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, started with the winners instead tonight instead of the losers, but their play of the game brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Gonna give it to number let's see here. 25 and Nathan Lanowski, who opened up the scoring in this game. Nathan had some really strong rushes throughout this one, played with some good speed, and was a lot for the Vicks to handle at points in tight around the net, even though he and his teammates didn't capitalize as much as they would have liked to tonight in terms of the percentage of their chances. But yeah, he gets a few points tonight. The goal to get things started for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club in a comeback where they fall short, of course, tonight. But yeah, Lanowski, number 25, player of the game for the Raiders. Number 10, Nolan Anderson, getting player of the game for the Junior Victorias. Episode 11, Season 2 of the mmjhl podcast comes out next. Give us a few minutes here, folks, as we just got to set things up a bit. But yeah, we'll be back shortly. This will be available on our YouTube channel to watch and later on our website at gshow.ca. But for all of us here, for you mmjhl Game Day fans, I've been your host, Graham, the G Show Forsyth. We'll be back in action tomorrow, as we'll be at Eric Coy Arena for Hawks versus Royal Knights. We will have a pre-game and post-game show in full tomorrow as well, but until then, folks, enjoy this podcast coming up, episode 11, season 2 of the mmjhl podcast here live from St. Vital Arena. The Vicks in this game, though, starting off their weekend on the right foot instead of last weekend where they lost 5-0 to the Twins to start off their week on Thursday, winning 7-4 tonight. That's it. That's all, everybody. Thanks to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Goaltenders, Terrico, and McKenna Fasteners and Tools for sponsoring another mmjhl Game Day. Vicks improved to 13 wins on the year with a 7-4 victory. Good night, everybody. Thanks again for watching.